need to add in here or here, you know, it's, so,
Excessive force, I'm with you, 100%, 100%.
yeah.
Thank
I
you.
also talked to Angie some, I'm gonna talk to her again tonight, cause it's a rodeo committee meeting, but it'd be kinda cool, I thought, to
They're gonna
have,
suspend me for another month, you know.
not
I have
this
to work
year,
one day in April, but then I'll be gone
but
for
maybe
another
like
month.
next year, do like a high school rodeo down there the same time as the fair or something, or, I don't know.
That'd be a blast. You know, the high school rodeos, I think, are a blast. You know, Casper Wyoming had a really good, really active in that.
Yeah,
Those kids, you know, they'd go, oh, we're going to Casper, we're going to Gillette, you know.
yeah, well, I mentioned it to Angie, and I told her to think on it some, cause she knows a lot more about putting those on than I do, of course, and I was like, you know, I think it'd be kind of a fun deal, same time as the 4-H fair, just something else going on down there to get people down there, cause like, we talked
Place would
about.
be busy.
Right, yeah, I mean, we talked about doing vendors, cause like, you know, even at our fair, like, people didn't go down there just to see the 4-H animals, but if they were going down there to do a
Yeah.
couple different things, you know, they'd go look through the barns and stuff. So, and I thought, you know, high school rodeo would fit in pretty good to that, I mean, even some of the kids in 4-H could be in it, you know,
Yep.
so, maybe it'd be too much all at once, but I think something else down there needs to be going on at the same time.
I agree. I agree.
I mean, even
Next
if,
thing you know, there'll be a Ferris wheel down there.
well, I've been talking to some carnies about that.
Carnies have small hands.
But, yeah, so, might work on
Maybe
that.
some of our relatives would show up.
How embarrassing is that?
Yeah,
You get brown mountain seed at Cahill Seed Company in eastern Montana.
you know, Mike, you should just grow some of that and get back to me.
I
on how
think
it
so.
goes.
Mustard
You
seed,
growing them out back there?
I just brought my
if
house.
there's anybody that can do it, this man can.
I look like
I'm
I.
glad you can grow some, I can't ever get
I
in
gotta plug all the holes in my combine though.
I got a combine, I got 2 combines you
Yeah,
can borrow.
you said that.
I don't know how to run 'em. I don't have a tractor, I don't run 'em anymore.
Good guy, you'd be right, yeah.
I sold my tractor, I was gonna
Are
run
they
those.
gleaners?
No, they're,
Okay, you said both of them.
cases, I think.
I'm catching people.
No, maybe they're match, they're cases or match for, they're pull behinds.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
mine, that's why I made copies.
Yours, your combines? They're Case IH.
Yeah, they're cases.
Yeah, or they're
They're like new, like.
they're old IH, they're old IH.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They're not new by any means, but I think they're not super old for a pull behind combine.
Yeah.
24, 25.
Eventually.
I mean, they were made a long time before I was born, but supposedly they were. But then I sold that one tractor I had, so we don't have any to run them anyway, so I'm trying to get rid of them.
I collect now 2 gleaners, I got 7.
Your IH combines, what do you want for them?
I
Yeah.
think Dad paid $400 a piece for them,
Thank
so whatever you want to give to get them out of my freaking hay yard.
You know, I'm willing to go take a look at it.
Go take a look. I got a bunch of parts for them set there and everything else. That one of them supposedly works great. The other one can work. It just needs a little something. But I don't know anything about combines. I've never even been in a combine.
Well,
They're
you
expensive.
won't get in,
Well, yeah, I knew that.
you won't get in those.
No, yeah, not unless you're kicking.
What I know about combines,
Oh, yeah, your father-in-law's got a few.
yeah, more than it, well, most of them finally, no, back in like 94, 95, was on a 9500 combine.
It's a John Deere, right?
Yeah, John Deere, big John Deere, back then they were brand new, and had a 9600 engine in it, it was 4-wheel drive, it was, cats meow, 30-foot hydrostatic header.
Wow.
And we were picking, everything was great, we got off it the next morning, it wouldn't even click,
Good work.
it wouldn't do a damn thing.
Huh.
And I tried to jump it at the starter, I was just like, I'll jump it at the starter, some bitch will work. Nope, wouldn't do anything. Of course, it's all electronic back, it was starting to become very electronic back then. And so we called the John Deere dealership, well, we can get somebody there next week. It's like, next week? No, we need somebody here today.
Get it now.
So they gave us the book, and I started going through with a voltmeter
Yeah.
and testing continuities at pinholes here, there, and there. I'm finally in the cab, and I've pulled switches out and testing continuities on switches. And I get to this one little thing. And do you know why that $275,000 piece, or $375, whatever it was, piece of equipment wouldn't move? Hydrostatic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Down there where you go to the neutral, there's this little itty bitty piece of metal. And if it doesn't know it's in neutral,
Yep, it won't.
it won't
Shut
even
off, yeah.
click.
No,
Yep, so I've got an old, versatile bidirectional tractor, it's also hydrostatic from about the same
Yep.
vintage. Same thing, golly, I couldn't figure out, it would start, but we were jumping at the starter, that's how we started for like the last year. Just jumping it at the starter, and then I was cleaning it off the other day, or like last fall, I was pressure washing it and getting it cleaned up and stuff, and I finally like, I'm gonna figure out what the hell's wrong with this thing. So I get my voltmeter out and I'm checking, I had the whole back panel pulled off, and I'm checking checking all the switches, and I'm like, God, all these look fine, I don't know what the hell's going on here. And it's the same deal. I'm looking after I get it pressure washed off, and there's one little wire coming out to a little spade connection on top of the hydrostat lever that goes into the cab on a cable.
Yep.
That goes back and forth. Plug that wire in, jump in the cab, turn the key, and start it right up. And I was like, man.
I bet you felt pretty proud of yourself.
Yeah.
Figure that out.
Well, no, it was bad because jumping those things at the starter is not
they're not easy.
safe as well.
Well, it's not safe.
Yeah, I remember Dad about running himself over one time.
Like, you do it.
Because if you don't have the neutral, you start that thing up, it's just,
That was the impressive thing at the freaking that 9500. It wouldn't even let you jump it at the start.
yeah.
It was just like.
Well, this one's an '89, I think, so they didn't have all the safety
Yeah,
stuff there yet.
yeah, it was crazy. So, anyhow, good morning, gentlemen.
I jumped the John Deere tractor one time in the shop.
Go through the back of the shop.
No, it did. Pushed the truck through the back of the shop.
Oh, God, the problem is,
I jumped out of the way and,
There goes.
oh, well.
The
That
problem-
killed me though. I couldn't quite get the truck all the way
The
up.
stories he tells makes you wonder why we let him drive us to lunch.
oh man, no, I thought, when that happened to Dad, we were in Ed Bray's hay yard, stacking hay with the thing. And the problem is, they jump the starter, you're in between both tires.
Uh-huh.
The bidirectional has two big tire, same size tires. And he started that thing up, and it was like full bore going forward, and the stairs are right here to get up to it. And he freaking grabbed onto that handle, and it was dragging him, and I was like sitting there.
Oh,
I was
boy.
sitting there like 10 feet back, and I was like, shit, there's nothing I can do. Like, and he pulled himself up and pulled himself into the cab and stopped it, but I was like, oh, yeah, I was like, hey Dad, maybe we check the throttle on that before we.
Or stick it in reverse before.
Reverse would have done the same thing.
Yeah, we would have gone backwards.
Yeah.
But you're in between the tires.
Oh, I
Oh,
got
yeah.
it.
You're in between
Oh,
both.
Coming or going, you're
You're
gonna-
Oh, I
around
got it,
one way or
I
the
got
other.
it.
No wonder that farm ranch is the most dangerous
it
occupation.
is, it is.
Yeah. Well, I think that sometimes I was like,
Well, and what it is too, and we all know this. We're all doing stuff out there
oh, well, that's like.
that 2 or 3 guys should be doing, and you're trying to do it by yourself,
You're usually
Yeah.
tired.
and you're tired.
Or like all the, I know with Dad.
You're not thinking.
Well,
Yeah,
you think
you're
you're just
thinking
not looking at all the possible outcomes of bad shit that could happen.
Should I check to see if this damn thing is in gear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thinking, or you're trying to get a post hole dug and the damn thing won't go down, and you don't have any pressure on the
No.
tractor, so you just climb up on top of it and wobble it back and forth. We all have done that.
That was like,
Yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
I jumped on it, pushed down on it, and I had this loose jacket on, and PTO grabbed it, pulled both my arms out of the joint
Oh my
before
god.
the jacket broke.
You're lucky,
I
because
was
usually
30
that
miles
kills
off the
you.
prairie,
yeah.
Usually it just tears your arms off.
No, I remember.
laid down on the ground, popped it back in place, and finished over the post holes.
We had a well go down. It's like a 250-foot well, but Dad likes putting that poly pipe.
Yeah.
He doesn't like using the PVC. So we were pulling this well, and we thought we had the right holder, that you set on the wellhead, and then it holds it. Oh, we didn't. So we're pulling this 200-some foot well, which isn't that deep, but it's deep enough. We're pulling it by hand,
Of course.
and I've got the pull cord, and I'm sitting there hand over hand in it. And every once in a while I have to stop and I'm holding the end. We've got like 100 feet of poly pipe down this way with big old metal shit around the end of it. And I'm like, hey Dad, figure we're gonna get whacked if I drop this thing.
You would've.
Yeah. Alright, well, I gotta go call about this insurance thing and figure out what that check is.
Yeah.
I got a meeting I gotta be at at 11, be back from 11:30 to 45.
Hey,
Yeah.
You too?
Alrighty, well, see you guys.
all right, good talking to you. Yeah.
What's the good news?
Survived another week so far. It's not over yet, but.
Not over yet.
Yeah.
You got it.
I do have some sad news. April Gifford's probably gonna pass away in the next 24 hours.
Oh, that's
Really?
too bad.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
She fought a long
She's had a
time.
long, good fight, and I've never seen anybody with a better attitude.
Yeah, she was a nice lady. Nice lady.
I knew she was on hospice, that she could become imminent.
She's at home.
Yeah.
Where's she at?
Out on Buckskin.
Is she at home?
Yeah. Yeah. So they're just and supposedly I talked to her dad last night and she's not verbal anymore. She's not cognitive anymore.
So they're keeping her medicated.
And let the horse take its bath. So anyhow, other than that, we're just kind of cruising right along.
Yeah. That's
Not
scary.
much. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. So.
Yeah.
But everything's pretty good. No, I don't really have much. I did, Ms. Newman, well, I don't know what, is it Wasson? Is that her new married name? Stephanie.
I think
Yeah,
it could
yeah.
be.
Wasson.
I think
Yeah,
you're right.
yeah.
Yeah, it might be Wasson. Anyhow, Stephanie reached out to me several times and she said, well, where's the job posting at? I said, well, I think it's in the paper, so I don't think it's online.
Didn't we get
It
that?
is online.
Is it
I
online?
found it online and I gave her
The link.
website and then I took her a hard copy of the application.
Good,
Excellent.
good. So we keep forecourt pressing her. She'll,
Well, I think she'd be really good.
I do
And
too.
somebody else, another lady came in that looked like she might be good
I'll
too.
tell you, she was an impressive lady too.
Yeah.
Yes, far more than I ever would have guessed, but she's very good.
where's she
But
living?
She's the school clerk
yeah,
in Melstone.
Oh,
And I've heard all kinds of good things about
Okay.
her.
so we got good candidates. I've worked with Stephanie a little bit with our minimum allocation grant looking. She knows it. She knows,
Oh, yeah.
She knows
yeah,
it.
she's smart gal. And, like I said, one of the nice things is I hate to celebrate the good old boy network we're running, but we know Stephanie's a good old family. We trust, I mean, she's,
Yeah, we know where she lives.
you know, honest as the day is long, so, anyhow, hopefully that works. I did hire another communications officer.
Okay.
I'll give you a little feedback on that. The ambulance and the fire department thought they would be part of those interviews.
They thought that
Well, why wouldn't they be?
because they don't supervise that office,
Well, then if they have any issues, they need to work through you.
absolutely,
That's your position on it?
100%.
Okay, well, then we'll-
I had, Cheryl,
They should have been a part of the interview process, and you could be the deciding factor, but they should have been there. I thought, one of them.
Actually, Sean, why,
That's for her.
Okay.
what's your concern with not including them?
because a few times ago,
Okay,
I can't even remember who it was. I think we had 11 people on the hiring board.
Really?
so you want,
That's the one,
That's too many.
remember
That's
I
too
walked
many.
in
yeah,
and I went, yeah, see you guys later. It was completely over the top. And in my opinion on it, she works for me, she works for Cheryl, and she works for
All
Tess.
right, let's have a conversation then with, when we talk with
You know what I'm
Justin.
really hoping, Mr. Pancratz?
What?
We don't have to hire another communications officer for the rest of my career.
Yeah, and it's not just that. I mean, I think there needs to be a periodic meeting between you three, just to say, how are things going?
And we have, just like we have a deputies meeting almost every month on the
Oh, yeah?
third Wednesday, Mr. Krokoka comes to him, Mr. Larson used to come to him. But we meet at 6 o'clock, yeah, it's usually 6 o'clock, I think, up at the ambulance, or the range, and we have a deputies meeting. Everybody gets together, we go around the room and talk. We try to do that with the communication center too, but it's not as,
Well, they were thinking maybe a quarterly, that they get together every quarter and say, just to touch bases, because apparently there was a few issues with the fire department being sent to the wrong address.
I'm not aware of.
Yeah,
that.
see, that you need to be. In other words, if,
And they need to bring it to my attention.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's, they need to.
Well, as
either
long as we, and I kind of agree with Mike, I think that their being part of that interview makes sense to me, that's just me, but you're their supervisor.
Right. And ultimately, the interview has nothing to do with their job performance. We're looking for somebody that's gonna fit into our crew, and then their job performance will be the reflection of that, and the
But
training.
they might have good input to you on,
Again, I've been to these, we've got 11 different people there.
yeah, but this is just two, this is Ron and Justin. That's three in an interview.
That's 5 in an interview,
Okay.
because I have Tess and Cheryl there.
Well, here's the deal, if you're gonna be the point person, which you are, then we're gonna have to set up a meeting where, because we've gotten a complaint
From who?
from Justin, he's concerned that they were sent to the wrong address, he wanted to, so he needs to talk to you about it.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
it brought up the bigger issue of there needs to be a formal way to plug them into this process.
When did this happen?
Well, he's got the specifics on it, I guess it's happened twice. And I'm not throwing him under the bus, when he's in here, you can talk to him. I mean,
No, I'm curious because it hasn't been brought to my attention, and if it's not brought to the supervisor's attention, it's
Yeah.
difficult for me to make a
That's
correction.
completely valid, that's completely valid. My point though is they need to understand at what level they're brought into the process, and that they need to come with you instead of, we can be the final arbitrator if it gets ugly, I don't want it to get ugly.
It won't get ugly, Justin and I can communicate.
But, there, because that, each one, the ambulance and the fire, they have maybe a little different needs that, and I'm not sure they're, anyway, Sean, I'm just letting you know, you got
Okay.
two other key stakeholders that need to be somehow plugged in.
Again, and it's of my opinion, the interview process, finding a person to work in the communication center has nothing to do with job performance.
Yeah.
Well,
And
it does, it has to do with you think with their ability to do the job.
Well, absolutely.
And your
But-
perception of what they need to be able to do might be a little different than what the other two stakeholders have.
But the difference is that neither Justin nor Mr. Solberg work in that office. The only time they use a communication center is when they get called out by the communication center. Whereas Cheryl, Tess, and myself have to work with that person 365 days a year. So I understand that they were thought that they, but the interview has nothing to do
Yeah, with you.
with the personality that gets hired for that position. If their job performance is deficient, it needs to be brought to me,
Right.
be brought to Cheryl, brought to Tess, and then we'll make corrective
All right,
actions.
so I don't want you to think that Justin was like, hey, no, it was just I think you guys need to talk.
Okay,
And, just make sure you're satisfied that
and
they're plugged in, cause they're key stakeholders too.
right. And I would make the converse argument. I don't call Justin until he's hiring somebody to do, I don't expect to be on his sign committee. I don't expect to be on the EMT committee for Ron.
All right, well put,
there you go.
I just think you guys need to talk, so. I gotta go, I got this other.
All right,
I'm surprised Justin didn't notify you on that problem.
I am too, that doesn't
well,
work.
and I'm, yeah,
If
I'm,
indeed he got sent the wrong address, he should have
I actually said twice,
twice.
more than once, so.
And the house burned down? Well, things happen,
yeah, I'm just really curious about that, so.
I bet you are.
I'm an action. And sometimes they bypass me and just go to Under Sheriff Bender. And
Oh, yeah.
so let me, how is it so far? Sarah, may I speak to Cheryl, please? Hey, I got a question for you. Have you been made aware of the fire department getting sent to wrong addresses on 2 different occasions? All right, so say that again, Cheryl.
I said I have not heard from anybody about them being sent to wrong addresses.
All right, appreciate it, thanks.
I know there's been typos in the street names, but that shouldn't affect the address. I mean, you can still tell, like last night on 143 Buckskin, it didn't have the K in Buckskin, but I still can tell what address it was, but I have not heard anything about that.
Okay, appreciate it, thank you, bye-bye.
All right.
So that's the head communications officer.
Yeah.
And I'm the supervisor of communications. And neither of us have heard anything about wrong addresses. So it is difficult for us to make corrective action.
Well, Justin should have went to you first, or Cheryl.
But again.
Okay.
Well, I'm waiting on Ben here to give me some pointers on a letter I'm writing.
Oh, really? That's a Nathan?
I'm editing away, you're missing one on there.
I know, there's pot 5, I haven't got it done. But it's gonna be really simple, because it's the livestock
Yeah,
one.
refer to the livestock inspector.
And I've got Samantha's frickin' case file.
Yeah.
She sent me her narrative,
Yeah,
and I'm gonna say,
he never met with her or responded to any of her requests for information.
and hasn't,
The matter is still ongoing.
right, it's an ongoing matter, but he hasn't done any of the things, and that's what her, and I have her narrative, and I'm just gonna say, being as the items that were reported stolen
Yeah,
were mostly or totally of a livestock capacity, we turned it over to state livestock enforcement
yeah,
to
to perform the
investigate.
investigation.
Yes. And the investigation has been performed, although this individual has failed to cooperate with the investigation. And then I'm gonna go on to some things you don't know, is we had a welfare check on him. And on the 15th. And Under Sheriff Bender went over, body cam the whole thing, reiterated, listen, this is a civil matter. Law enforcement doesn't have a mechanism to determine ownership of property. You need to get that straightened out and get a court to say, yes, this is your property, then we can do something about it. And oh, by the way, you don't have any food, I've got a case of MREs that we gave you for free. We get the sheriff's
Man,
office,
MREs are expensive.
the sheriff's office gave him a free case of MREs because the man had no food.
So this next hunting season, can I get a case of MREs for him?
Yeah.
I
I would say something, but we're being recorded. Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I have some suggestions here.
Okay. You wanna go downstairs and talk about it?
Sure.
Okay. Gentlemen, have a good weekend. Guys, probably won't be here next Friday. It's kind of like the wind down of the ski season, and Heidi and Chance don't have school on Friday, so I think we're gonna go to Showdown on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We've got reservations at Bob's, so. Bob's Bar in Nyhart, Montana.
Oh, wow.
It is a really cute little spot though. We really like it. It's nice.
Yeah.
I just figured out my glasses problem. I'm not wearing my bifocals.
There you go.
I got my other glasses. I got my hunting glasses.
Sounds good. Well,
I guess we have DES at 11, but I don't see them yet.